Hey guys, this is Eric. I got back from seeing Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. It wasn't exactly what I expected, and I'll explain. I was expecting it to be like a horror movie, but it was more like an action adventure than a horror film. It had gore, it had like witches obviously, and stuff like that, and it was really offsetting compared to the opening of the movie. The opening is just like a short retelling of the Hansel and Gretel story that we've all heard a million times. Two children, a brother and a sister, are wandering in the woods, and they stumble upon this witch's home, and she tries to eat them, basically. Yeah, the opening of the film was very offsetting because it was kind of creepy. The witch that kidnaps them was like, she's demented. I think they used practical effects for her, which is great. It looked like a scene taken out of a horror movie, and the rest of the movie was tons of CG and fighting, and it was an action adventure movie. They take some liberties with the original story, like having the parents, like, they're trying to hide the kids from something. I thought that was an interesting idea. I don't think that would have worked if that's what it was, or that's what the story was, because then the movie wouldn't be as effective. But basically the premise is that Hansel and Gretel are, they escape the witch in the story, and they grow up to become like witch hunters, like they're bounty hunters, except they hunt witches. And they basically get hired by the mayor of this town because they have a witch problem. So the mayor hires them to destroy all the witches that have been kidnapping a lot of the town's children, and they explain why they're kidnapping the children, so it doesn't seem like they're just doing it for the heck of it. They actually have a reason why they're doing it. So Hansel, played by Jeremy Renner from the Avengers, and Gretel, who's played by Gemma Arterton, or Gemma Arterton, I'm not sure how to pronounce her first name. But yeah, it was okay. It wasn't that great. I wasn't expecting that much. People make fun of these kind of movies like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, Jack the Giant Slayer, which is coming out later this year. People make fun of that stuff because they take a story, fiction or not, and they manipulate it into something that sounds completely ridiculous. With Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, it was good. It was a good movie. It was really well done. This one is not that well done. Some of the acting in it is bad. Jeremy Renner's character seems more like typical Arnold Schwarzenegger action hero, spitting out one-liners, or very snarky dialogue, if you will. He's kind of like the snarky big brother to Gretel in the film. The fight choreography and the fight scenes are really well put together. The movie is nicely shot. I went to see a 3D screening of it, and for the most part, 3D was completely pointless and unnecessary. However, most of the movie was actually shot in 3D, or at least converted to 3D. It's not like the Avengers, where like half the movie's in 3D and the rest of it isn't. But this movie, there was a ton of the movie was actually in 3D. The 3D is not that useful. There were a couple instances where something just kind of jumped out at me. It was like, whoa, where'd that come from? It was like splinters of wood and broken glass. And it was near the end of the film when that happened. But yeah, that's the only good part that I saw that would have been useful with 3D. Other than that, it was just money. That's that's about it. You know, if you're really in these kind of movies, you can go check it out if you want to. I personally would not recommend it to the average moviegoer. But if they're looking for some popcorn entertainment, this is definitely something that they could look into. But my rating out of 10 is going to be a 5 because it just wasn't that entertaining. I was bored during the movie. I almost fell asleep a couple times. I also went to see movie 43 before this today, and movie 43 was actually much better. They should have called it College Humor or Totally Sketch the Movie or something like that. It's not just movie 43. But, yeah, I'll probably talk about movie 43 on my other channel, youtube.com/194smurf. That's SMERF. Because when I made the channel, I didn't know exactly how to spell Smurf, so yeah, I effed up there. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.